Okay. I will start the session. Today I am going to discuss about the addressing modes. So before explaining the different types of addressing modes, what do you mean by an address? Any one of you can unmute and explain the meaning of address? Any one of you? Is the participants list? Anyone can unmute and share your meaning about address. It is like your home address or your college address or your address in the college again. So all these are the addresses. These addresses are used to identify a person or identify a particular object. Okay. For identifying the object or person or anything, we are using the concept of addressing. Then, what do you mean by a mode? Mode means we are generally observing about what is your mode of transport, what is your mode of payment, etc. Okay. I understand. In the case of payment of mode, is it by cash or by check or by transfer? Similarly, mode of transport means it may be air travel, or it may be a train travel, or it may be bus travel, or it may be a car travel, etc. All these are, or it may be a sea. All these are called mode of transports. So I'm telling all these things only to understand the meaning of addressing mode. Addressing mode defines that how do you identify an object? How do you identify an object which shows the addressing mode? Object means it may be a variable, or it may be a person, or it may be anything. So here, in our case, we are dealing with the subject of computer architecture and organization. In the computer, we are talking about the data, we are talking about the processing, we are talking about the arithmetic, logical operations. Okay, we are talking about all these things with respect to data. So, while dealing with addressing modes, we need to know how to identify the data. That means where it is, where the required data is available. Again, when you come to that, you should know that where the data is available. Where means what are the different medium in the sense different storage elements. Always the data is stored in a particular device. Particular device called, it may be register. Register means CPU registers, or it may be in main memory. Main memory in the sense we are having there is electronic devices like I think all of you are familiar with a decoder in your second year STLD course. Your main memory is nothing but a decoder, a simple decoder, where your main memory is addressed by the address lines of the processor. If the processor has n address lines, you can have the maximum of 2 power n addresses. That means 2 power n outputs. That is like n to 2 power n, like that is a decoder function, nothing else. Your memory is nothing but a decoder function, which you are already familiar in your earlier courses. Whereas when you come to CPU registers, they are nothing but your, I think you heard about the shift registers or register simply. Okay, shift register, I think you are familiar with that. For n-bit shift register, we require n flip-flops. N means simply d flip-flops. So that is nothing but a register. They are called CPU registers. CPU registers will have each consists of flip-flops. Each flip-flop is 1-bit memory cell. So if you have 8-bit register, means that 8-bit register contains 8 flip-flops. If you are having 16-bit register, means it has 16 flip-flops, D flip-flops. If it is a 32-bit register, means that register contains 32 D flip-flops. Always the number of bits in the register will be generally 4, 8, 16, 32 and 64. Okay, that is order of 2. That is 2 power 2, similarly 2 power 3, then 2 power 4, then 2 power 5, then 2 power 6, like that.
Sir, waiting room lo unnarante elo cheyra koncham.
Only one is there. Okay, no sure. Okay, right. Now it is okay. Any more are there? Okay. I think the first slide is already covered. Okay. Here, to completely understand the meaning of addressing mode and what are the different types and all those things, first you should be familiar about or should be comfortable with what is memory. Memory means main memory. I'm talking about main memory. Another one is the CPU registers. You should be comfortable about these two things. Then only you can able to understand the meaning of addressing modes and its implications. So what is the difference of all those things? There are so many. Around 10 will be there. Out of those 10, what should be the difference between 1, 2, 3, so on? Now, is it clear to all of you the structure of memory and the structure of registers? Is it understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will repeat once again simply. Your main memory is similar to your decoder, as already studied in your STLA subject. A decoder will have n inputs and 2 power n outputs. Similarly, the main memory depends on the number of address lines of the processor to which it is connected. If we have a 20 address line processor, if I have a 20 address line processor, you can able to connect 2 power 20 size of memory. 2 power 20 means which will be 1 mega locations. 1 mega means mega in the sense approximately we are talking about 2 power 20. Okay. In our nomenclature, 2 power 10 is treated as 1K, 2 power 20 is treated as 1 mega. K means generally 10 power 3, but here 1K means in our terminology it is 1024. So 1 mega means 1024 into 1024, but that is the actual thing. But for our simplicity, we are calling it as mega. Okay, 1 mega locations. Suppose your processor will have 30 address lines. Okay, suppose the processor has 30 address lines. Okay, you can have 1 giga memory locations. Why? Because 2 power 30. 2 power 30 means 1 giga. If the processor has 32 address lines, then we can able to connect 2 power 32 location. Oh, we can able to connect 2 power 32 size of memory. That means 2 power 30 is 1 giga into 2 power 2. 2 power 30 into 2 power 2 is 2 power 32. So 4 gigabyte of memory. 4 GB memory we can able to connect to the processor whose number of address lines are 32. That is the main memory scenario. Okay, that is one part. Here we are talking about the addresses by using a decoder, what we call. Okay, simply it is a decoder function, nothing else in the memory, in the main memory. That another part will be there again. That is the CPU registers. CPU registers. Okay, I think already earlier you have gone through it. That is all the diagrams and all those things. Are you familiar with registers? Where it is? Where the registers are there? Where the registers are there? Yes. Repeat. Repeat.
Processor.
Yes, it is a part of processor. It is a part of processor. If you take any processor, it has in the processor itself, there are some registers. They are called processor registers or CPU registers. They are generally R0 to some Rn. It may be 6, 7, depends. Okay. Generally, it will be R power Rn. Okay. R0 to Rn. Rn maybe it may be R8 registers or maybe 16 like that. Out of these CPU registers, there will be one register called accumulator. There is one register called accumulator, which is a special purpose. Okay, there is a special purpose for that register that is called accumulator. Okay, all other what I am telling about R0 to Rn, they are used to store the data temporarily. Okay, even the accumulator is also used to store the data temporarily, even though if you want to do any arithmetic or logical operations, okay, basically we are using computer for doing arithmetic and logical operations only. Okay, that is the basic concept, that is the basic purpose. If you want to do any arithmetic or logical operations on the data, okay, the results of arithmetic or logical operations, okay, the result of those operations are to be stored in the accumulator always. I will repeat once again. The accumulator purpose is the results of arithmetic or logical operations are stored in the accumulator. At the same time, if you want to use a arithmetic or logical operations, okay, one operand must be in accumulator. One operand must be in accumulator. Why? Because you are operating, you are applying the operations on two elements, on two operands. One operand is an accumulator, another operand is in somewhere else. Somewhere else means it may be in register or it may be in the memory. So you are doing operation on those two operands or data, then the result will be stored in accumulator. That is the purpose of accumulator. In addition to this, there are some other special purpose registers. They are called, they are named it as your, I think you are familiar with that program counter, stack pointer, etc. That I will discuss it later when we require that, when we need it. Okay. Now at present, I want to convey what should be the purpose of addressing mode and what it should be. So in majority of the subjects, if you are able to understand the meaning of words, that itself is sufficient for easy understanding. Nothing is there. Everything will be in reality only. Here nothing is new. In the CO or any subject, nothing will be new. Everything is, you can correlate with the real-time world. What you are doing day-to-day life. Okay. Then the second one is variables. Okay. What is a variable and what is the purpose of it? Generally, variables is like, I think variables, I think all of you know about the, here I am trying to deviate little bit. Okay. I think all of you are familiar about the compilers. I think you have worked on C or some other languages. Okay. Here in natural languages also, in natural language, what do you call as Telugu or English or Hindi? Okay. We should have a dictionary. We should have a dictionary. Suppose if you want to learn English, what you can do? First you have try to read the vocabulary. Then you try to understand the grammar, how to club it. Then you can use it to communicate. You can use that language to communicate for communication purpose. So while communicating, for example, Ramu is a good boy. You take a simple example. Ramu is a good boy. In that, you don't find the word Ramu in your dictionary. Why? Because it is a noun. Nouns are not available in dictionary. They don't have the meaning. Is have the meaning. A have the meaning. Good is the meaning. Boy. Ramu is a good boy. In all those words in that sentence, except Ramu, all words have the meaning, specific meaning. But Ramu is a noun which you don't have any meaning. Ramu or MURA, whatever it may be. You can write RA, you can write RAM, or you can write MAR, whatever you want to put it, you can put as a noun. Anything is noun here. There is no specific meaning for it. So those are similar to your variables. Okay. Your nouns in your language, any natural language, okay, are similar to variables in your programming language. They are similar to that, nothing else. Similarly, if you take a compiler, the compiler will also have, suppose you have C. In C, what you will have? You have int, so many keywords are there. I think all of you know that. If, else, so like there are so many things. Main, okay, okay, while, for, okay, switch, okay, like that. There are so many keywords will be there. That is, I think 30 or 20 or 30 or 40. That depends upon the language. Okay. All those keywords will have specific meaning, like your dictionary of English. If you take English language dictionary, there are specific meaning for each and every word in that English words. Similarly, here for all the keywords, there are specific meaning in the programming language. Okay. Similarly, okay, other than those keywords, whatever the words you are using, all those words are comes under variables. Okay. For what purpose you are using that variables? We are using that variables for the purpose of storing the data. Already keywords have some meaning. Okay. Keywords have some meaning. Plus is also a, there is a plus, minus, all these are the have specific meaning, all those symbols and keywords. But whatever the data we are going to apply for operations, that is either arithmetic or logical or something else. For any operation, there may be move operations, data transfer, or it may be, so whatever, there are so many that we will discuss it later in detail. Okay. So to do some operations on two elements, okay, those two elements are stored or calling, not stored, are calling with the some names. They are called variables. Okay, is it clear? That is the meaning of variable. So what is the purpose? Purpose is for identifying the data or to store the data with some name. Okay, why I am using why you are assigning the roll numbers to you? Because to identify, for identification. Similarly here, okay, we are using the variables to store the data and calling them. Variable is only for the sake of comfort we are using, but actually the variable is again linked with addresses. The computer cannot understand the variables. The computer cannot understand the variables. It can only understand the addresses, nothing else. But for our comfort, we are linking the addresses with the variables, because simply we can call the easily we can able to mingle with variables. That is like int a comma b. Okay, int is a keyword, a and b are the variables. So it is easily we can able to mingle, or we can able to understand, we can able to handle the situation. So that's why, okay, the variables are introduced, okay, to store the data, but in between there is a address linked with that. Okay, next, how data okay, here already it is explained how data source is identified. Okay, for this purpose we need an address where data is stored, either in CPU register or main memory or directly supplied. Here it is not explained earlier, this is directly supplied. Earlier I am explained only about CPU registers and main memory. Okay, here sometimes we can give the data directly also. Okay, without taking from registers, sometimes we are giving the data directly. Okay, that also I will explain in the next slides. Okay, next, here next, we need different time duration based on mode of identifying address of data, that is quick identification or slow. So here already I told that address and mode. Okay, To identify the addresses, we are using different modes. To identify the addresses, we are using different modes. That is, I can call you by your name. I can call you by your roll number. For example, suppose I call by a name. Okay. So is the response is fast or slow? If I call by a person by name, suppose Sujit or some Triveni I call, some name is there here, Triveni, or something is there. Okay. Hello? Is it fast or slow? If I call the name, if I call by an individual by name in the class, okay, is the response is fast or slow?
Fastly, sir.
Fast. If I call by your roll number, then which will be fast? Call by name or call by your roll number? Which will be fast?
Call by name.
Call by name.
Name, sir.
Call by name is fast. Why? Why? What may be the reason? Tell me. Tell me the reason.
Because from starting onwards, we are calling by our names.
Okay. So you are familiar with your names than your roll numbers. Yes? That is your, okay, that is your opinion. But suppose there are, suppose Triveni, there are two Triveni, P Triveni and N Triveni. Then suppose I call Triveni. So
Then by roll number, sir.
then by roll number. So your name is like a variables, okay, but your roll numbers are like addresses, okay. So if I call by roll number, okay, immediately it will be identified. So if I call by a name, okay, name means again there may be different things, okay. Somebody may call different way. Somebody, suppose there are some nicknames, whatever it may be, okay. Some may be initials will have different, okay. Some may have initials at the end, some may have initials at the starting. Okay, there are different cases because they are the variables. Okay, they are the like variables, whereas our roll numbers are not like variables. They are addresses. They are very specific. Okay, they are very specific. Okay, as per this, if as per the general phenomena, if I call by your roll number, the response will be more. The response will be fast, not more. The response will be fast. Why? Because there is no ambiguity. Okay, there is no ambiguity. If I call by your name, there may be a possibility of ambiguity. So because of that, okay, they have to think about myself or somebody else. Okay, you need to see around that. But in the case of roll number, you don't have that chance. Immediately you will be responded. Okay. Okay, that is here. It is only example to say whether the response will be quick or fast. Okay, in the later stages you will understand the differences. Okay. Next, syntax of instruction. How the instruction looks like, how it should be. Etla untundi, how it should be. Okay. So as per your earlier, because this is very important. Why? Because some books follow some syntax, some other books follow some other syntax. So what is the syntax followed earlier in your previous classes by Wahida? Okay. Any one of you can tell me a simple instruction? Any one of you can tell me a simple instruction? Please respond. Why? Because it is required for me. So what you have followed earlier? So I will also follow the same thing. Here, as per the different architectures, there are two syntaxes followed. Okay. One type of syntax will be followed by some processors like Motorola. Okay. And the Intel process will follow differently, entire opposite. What are the instruction format or the instruction syntax followed by Motorola is quietly opposite to the Intel. Okay. All the Motorola processors, in all Motorola processors, the instruction will be like this one. The first one is the instruction, that is move. Move is the instruction followed by source operand followed by destination operand. Okay. Instruction followed by source operand followed by destination operand is the syntax for Motorola, is the syntax followed by Motorola processors. But in the case of Intel, they have followed in other way. That is instruction followed by destination operand RD followed by source operand. Understand? So which syntax you have followed earlier? Already Vahida taught some of the classes. So which format you have followed? Which syntax you have followed? So in books also, some book will follow the first type and other books will follow other type. Okay. There is no fixed strategy. So whatever the process they are adopting, they will follow it. Either follow yaru, which you have followed earlier.
First one, sir.
Huh?
First one, sir.
First one or second? First one, Motorola. Okay. Motorola syntax you have followed. Yes. Instruction followed by source operand followed by destination operand. Yes. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Right. So I will also follow that. Okay. Why? Because if I change it, then you will be confused. So for the entire course, so you need to follow the first type of syntax. Okay. That is Motorola syntax. Okay. Motorola syntax. What are the Motorola processors? Do you know? Can you tell one of the number? How do you say that it is a Motorola processor or Intel processor? How do you say that the processor by seeing its name? Suppose 8086. What is the manufacturer? What is the 8086 processor manufacturer? Is it Motorola or Intel processor? 8086 is a Motorola processor or Intel processor? Or your Pentium? You are familiar with Pentium, etc. Okay, I think you have heard about it because they are the 8086 is the leader. That is a old, very old one. That is the initial. Pentium processors are Intel or Motorola? All Motorola processors numbers starts with 68. All Motorola processor chip numbers starts with 68. Okay, 6800, 68000, like that. Okay, whereas Intel starts with 80, 8086, 80186, 80286, 486, 586. 586 is called Pentium. Okay. So they have some standard notion for their representations of chip numbers. Okay. If the chip is 6800 means it is a Motorola processor. Okay. Similarly for controllers also they are using the same thing. For each and every one, not only this, okay, M6800 means Motorola processor. Similarly, Zilog, each company have its standard nomenclature for representing the chip numbers. Okay. So now, as per the earlier discussions, so I am going to follow the first type of syntax, that is Motorola syntax. Okay. Okay. Then the next one is Next, we will come to the actual topic. The actual topic is addressing modes. Okay. The addressing modes, there are immediate addressing mode. The first one is immediate addressing mode. The next one is register addressing mode. The next one is absolute or direct addressing mode. Okay. These are other things. Okay. 3, 3, 6, 7. Okay. First I told 3. The first one is immediate addressing mode. This is the first immediate addressing mode. This is register addressing mode. This is absolute addressing mode. Okay. These 3 are the important cases. The first 3 are very important. Then the others are, other 7 are also there. They are, okay, we will discuss it later. But majority of the instructions are with the first 3. Majority of the instructions are with first 3. Why? Why majority of the instructions we are using in the first 3 categories? Okay, that is because of our time constraints. Already I told that earlier. Okay, if I call by your name or if I call by your roll number, okay, you find the difference. Okay, there is some difference. Okay, with the same, if I call by an object or individual or a person by his name or by his roll number is address. Okay, there is a difference of response. Similarly, here also immediate addressing mode. Okay, in the immediate addressing mode, okay, one are here. All of you note down this also. Okay, all of you note down this. This is sufficient. You need not write stories. Okay, only hardly 2 to 3 sentences are sufficient with this. Okay, the operand is given explicitly in instruction. The operand is given explicitly in instruction. Okay, that means this is the operand. That means data. So the data is one of the operand in immediate addressing mode instructions. In immediate addressing mode instructions, the data itself is one of the operand. The data itself is one of the operand. Okay. The other operand may be a register operand. Register means CPU register, or it may be a memory operand. Memory operand means main memory address. Okay. Understood? In immediate addressing mode, one operand is always the data. Data means on which you are going to operate. Okay. The another operand will be either a CPU register or a memory address. Here in this example, move, okay, move hash. This hash denotes it is the data. Hash represents it is the data. Data means it is the value. It is the value of data. This hash represents value of data. Move hash 2000 comma R0 means as per your first type of syntax, Motorola syntax. What is the meaning of this? 2000 value is moved into the CPU register R0. That means R0 is stored with the value 2000. Is it understood? Okay. Here the data itself is the source operand. In the immediate addressing mode, always the data operand is the source operand. Okay. And the destination operand will be either a register operand. Register operand means CPU register. It may be R0 to Rn. Okay. Or the destination operand may be even the memory address also. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Thus, these instructions require less time to execute. That is, instruction cycle time is minimum. Out of all these addressing mode instructions, okay, already I told 3: immediate, register, absolute, and another 7. Total 10 are there. Out of those 10 addressing modes, okay, out of those 10 addressing modes, okay, this, okay, I forget one thing also, but it is not there in the your textbook, prescribed textbook, okay, that is implicit. That is another one is implicit that I will discuss later, okay. All the immediate addressing mode instructions, okay, require less time to execute. Less time means that is in the order of 2. First and mode. I will here add it right now, but it is not there in your here, okay. Why I am introducing this is, when compared to immediate addressing mode, implicit addressing mode instructions, okay, have less instruction cycle time. That is, the execution time is very less when compared to all the addressing mode instructions. Implicit addressing mode instructions, okay, will execute very fast. Here in this case, in all the cases, we are talking about the operands, operand 1 and operand 2. Here, in this case, there is no operand at all. This call, I think if it is covered already, it is okay. Otherwise, they are called the zero address instructions. Zero address instructions. Is it covered to you? Zero address, 1 address, 2 address?
Yes, sir.
Is it already covered? Okay.
Sir.
Okay. All the implicit addressing mode instructions comes under the zero address instructions. That means there is no operand. Okay. Means that there is no operand. There is no operand at all. But by default, it takes the accumulator as the operand. That is clear accumulator. For example, this is an example. This is an example. Clear accumulator. Okay. Similarly, there are set accumulator, STA. Okay. Similarly, so many things are there. Not only that. Okay. Rotate accumulator left, RLA. Rotate accumulator right. Okay, all these instructions will have will have no specific operands, but the default operand is accumulator. Accumulator is also a CPU register. Accumulator is also a CPU register, but it has specific purpose. Okay, so all this comes under zero address instructions. Okay, the instruction cycle time. Are you comfortable? All of you know what is about instruction cycle time? Instruction cycle time or instruction cycle. All of you know that instruction cycle. Instruction cycle is nothing but the time taken by an instruction to complete it or to execute. Okay, the time taken by an instruction to execute. Suppose CLA, it is an instruction. So in how much time it will be executed? That is called instruction cycle. Here, all the implicit addressing mode instructions will execute very fast. Okay, when compared to all the other categories of addressing modes, this is the first category where, okay, the execution time will be very less. So instruction cycle time will be also less. Okay. Then you come to immediate addressing mode. Okay, this is the next one. Okay, after implicit addressing mode, this will be the next minimum. So that is the first minimum, this is the next minimum. So after that, the immediate addressing mode instructions, this is another type. First one is implicit, the second one is immediate addressing mode. In the case of immediate addressing mode, one operand will be a data operand, so on which directly you are operating, and another operand is either a CPU register or it may be a memory address. Either thing is possible here. Here in this case, I have given only the example of with data operand followed by register operand. Okay, I think it is understood. 2000 is moved to CPU register or not. Okay, is it clear to all of you? Any doubt in this two? Implicit and immediate. Is it clear or do you have any doubts? If you have any doubts till this step,
No, sir.
okay, you can ask the doubts. I will clarify. Till this step, do you have any doubts? Any one of you? Till this step, do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, right. Then I will move to register addressing mode. Okay. This is the next one. I am discussing one after another in sequence. Okay. The implicit is very fast. Then the next one is after that immediate. After that, then register addressing mode. In this addressing mode, generally all the register addressing mode instructions are two address instructions. Okay, all except implicit, all are having mostly two address instructions. All the majority, I'm talking about majority addressing mode instructions are two operand instructions, that is two address instructions, except implicit. Okay, here register addressing mode. Register addressing mode instructions, it is having two operands. Okay, those two operands must be a CPU registers. Those both here, it is a two address instruction. Register addressing mode instructions are two address instructions. Means that two address instruction meaning is it has two operands. It has two operands. It has two operands. R1 is one operand, A is another operand. This is one CPU register. This is another CPU register. MOVE. Move is the instruction. So the instruction followed by two operands. Those operands are R1 and A, or it may be R2 also, any. It need not be A, it may be anything. R1, R0, or any Rn. Okay. These two operands must be R1, and here I have mentioned A. Okay. These two are CPU registers. Always in the register addressing mode, both the operands, operand 1 and operand 2, are CPU registers. Okay, the CPU registers will be, what are the CPU registers? They are R0 to Rn and A accumulator. In addition to that, there are some special purpose registers. Okay, here in this case, you can use that also. Okay, the special purpose registers are program counter, stack pointer, similarly base pointer, etc. There are some other things also. Okay, PC means program counter, SP means stack pointer, BP means base pointer, etc. There are something also. Okay, whenever it is required, I will explain to you. Okay, so if I tell many things, you may be confused. Okay, so these are the generally used in all the processors. These three will be there generally. Okay, so these are also can be used here. Okay, in addition to R0 to Rn and accumulator, and these special purpose registers are also used, okay, as operands in register addressing mode. Here, how many operands are there? Two operands are there, source operand and destination operand. Here in this case, what is the source operand? R1 is the source operand, A is the destination operand. So here, whatever is there here, R1 and A are CPU registers. Okay, whatever is there in R1 is to be stored in accumulator. R1 lo whatever the data is available. Suppose R1 contains the data 2102 or 2150. Okay, suppose R1 contains 2150. 215, if R1 contains 2150 means how many bit register it is? Tell me. If R1 contains 2150 means how many bit register R1 is? Tell me. How many? If R1 contains the data 2150 means how many bit register R1? How many bit register is? Any one of you? If R1 contains 2150, okay? If R1 contains the data 2150, how many bit register it is? Yes? Pardon? Pardon, no problem. Tell me, even though it is wrong, no problem. I will correct it. Pardon? How many bits? Yes, it is a 16-bit register. Why? Because there are 4 bits. Okay, 2, 1, 5, 0. Okay, always when you talk about registers or when you talk about the data or when you talk about the addresses, always you are talking about in terms of hexadecimal only. Okay, hexadecimal means each bit requires 4 bits. Each hexadecimal digit, suppose 2, requires 4 bits. Okay, any hexadecimal digit, what are the hexadecimal digits or what are the hexadecimal symbols? 0 to 9 and A to
Yes.
A to S.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, A to F. A to F. Yes. 0 to 9 and A to F. So totally 16 symbols are there. Okay. To represent 16 symbols, we require 4 bits. Okay? Each hexadecimal digit, okay, will be represented by a 4-bit binary. So 2150, there are 4 hexadecimal digits, means R1 contains 2150 means 4 hexadecimal digits, means 4 into 4. So totally 16-bit register it is. So R1 is a 16-bit register. Move R1 comma A means whatever the data is available in R1, that is moved to accumulator. Is it clear? Okay. I think it is understood to you. Okay. Always, and one more thing is here in the register addressing mode, always the operands are register operands. Remember that. Always the operands are register operands only. There is no possibility of memory operand here. Okay. It is only register operands. Only 2. Those 2 source operand, destination operand are register operands. It doesn't contain any memory operand. Memory operand identity, main memory address. Memory operand means main memory address. So all the register addressing mode instructions contains only the register operands. Instruction followed by source CPU register followed by destination CPU register. That's all. Is it clear? Or do you have any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Okay. The next one is absolute or direct addressing mode. Okay. The next one is absolute or direct addressing mode. There are 2 names. Here, absolute addressing mode, you can call it as, in some of the books it's called as direct addressing mode. Okay. For all of you, the first 4 are important. Why? Because many instructions of any processor, okay, suppose if you have instructions, suppose in the program, if you are using 100 instructions, out of 100 instructions, more than 50% of the instructions you are going to use in the first 4 category. Okay, implicit, immediate, register, and direct or absolute. In the first 4 categories of addressing modes only, we are going to use most of the instructions. Next here, in the absolute addressing mode, the operand is in a memory location. Okay, the operand is in a memory location. Okay, what earlier in the register addressing mode we told that the operands are only register operands అని చెప్పాను. So there is no possibility of memory operand. Memory operand ante main memory. There is no possibility of here. If you are using the main memory address, here till now in the 4, what are the possible addressing modes you can use it with that? In this 4, implicit, immediate, register, and absolute addressing modes. Okay. Okay. There are 4 already we have discussed with absolute also. This memory address you can use it only in this 2. Immediate addressing mode you can use the memory address, and another one is absolute addressing mode. Here in the absolute addressing mode, one operand must be a main memory address. Okay. It is also a 2 address instruction, absolute addressing mode instruction or direct addressing mode instruction. Okay. All comes under this are related to 2 address instructions. 2 address means there are 2 operands. Out of those 2 operands, one operand must be a main memory address, or we call it as memory operand. Memory operand means main memory address. Okay. One operand must be main memory address or memory operand. Another address may be a register. Another address may be a register. Register means CPU register. Another address may be a CPU register. One operand must be memory operand. Another operand will be register operand. Suppose here instead of register operand, there is immediate data. Then what it calls? Then what it becomes? One operand is memory operand, another operand is immediate data. What type of addressing mode it is? Any one of you can tell me? Any one of you? Time అయిపోయిందా? Is it the time over? I think I will finish within 5 minutes. I will finish within 5 minutes.
Okay, sir.
What type of addressing mode it is? In the two address instruction, one operand is memory operand, another operand is immediate data. What type of addressing mode it is?
Immediate.
Yes, it is
Immediate
immediate.
addressing mode.
Yes, it is immediate addressing mode. If similarly, in the two address instruction, one operand is memory operand, another operand is register. What type of addressing mode it is?
Register address.
Register addressing mode. Is it register addressing mode? I will repeat once again. In the two address instruction, one operand is memory operand, another operand is register, that is CPU register. Then what type of addressing mode instruction it is?
Implicit addressing mode.
Implicit. What is the meaning of implicit addressing mode? What is the meaning of implicit addressing mode? In the implicit addressing mode, there are no operands at all.
Zero address.
It is a zero address instruction.
Zero address.
Zero address instruction, there is no operand at all.
Zero address.
But actually, what is the operand in implicit addressing mode? There is some operand. That is default operand. What it is? That is accumulator. Accumulator is there, but we are not mentioning it. It is there, part of the instruction itself. Okay. That is implicit addressing mode. That is very fast. Okay. Implicit addressing mode is very fast, which is zero addressing instruction. Okay. Where there are no operands, but by default we are using the accumulator as operand here. Default. That is default, but we are not mentioning it. Default means you need not mention. But in all these cases, in all the other addressing modes, we need to mention the operands. Whether the operand may be immediate operand, or it may be register operand, or it may be memory operand. Okay. Here, in the two address instruction, one operand is memory operand, that is main memory address. Another operand is CPU register, that is register operand. So what type of instruction it is? Absolute addressing mode or direct addressing mode. So this is the example. Move 2000, R0. Similarly, move 2002, A. And here add R0, A. So what type of addressing mode it is? Add R0, A. What type of addressing mode it is? Add R0, A. What type of addressing mode it is?
Register
Yes,
addressing.
it is written there, register addressing mode. Okay. So here I have written this code only to understand the program. So with these three instructions, move 200, R0, move 2002, A, then add R naught comma A. Okay, this here with these three instructions, that means whatever the data in 2000 address and whatever the data available in 2002 address, those two contents are added and the result is stored in accumulator. That is the meaning of these three. If you use these three instructions, okay, the output will be the value in 2000 and the value in 2002, okay, are added and the result is stored in accumulator. That is the meaning of this. That means first move the value in this address to move the value in address 2000 to R naught, move the value in 2002 to A, okay, then add R naught and A. A contains 2002 value, 2002 what is the value available in 2002 address, then R naught contains the value available in 2000 address. So these two values are to be added and the result is stored in accumulator. So this is a simple program to add two numbers which are stored in the memory, like here. Already here we are familiar with int a comma b, means int a comma p, means that a and b are the integer variables in our C language. Okay, so this will be converted like this. If you write int a comma b, then a plus b, then those code will be converted like this. So a and b are stored in some variable, some addresses. Okay, those are here like this. Okay, is it clear? Do you have any doubt till this step? If you have any doubt, you can
No,
ask me
sir.
till this.
No, sir.
Uh,
No, sir. No, sir.
are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand English, or do you want Telugu conversation?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So I will take 5 more minutes. Why? Because always don't ask any teacher to teach in Telugu. Why? Because okay, you are spoiling your lives. Why? Because it is necessary for all of you to understand the conversation in English. Okay, different people will have different slang, different people will have different pronunciation. So you are in a position to understand all type of pronunciations, all type of slangs. Okay, you can able to understand. That is required for your to settle in your life. Okay, the purpose of doing this is you need to get a job, or you need to pursue a higher degree. For all these things, okay, for all these things, you must. There are two things. Okay, I don't want to take much time. The first one is you must be a self-learner. You must be a self-learner. The second one is you must be okay. You must take the right way to understand, right way to reach your target. Okay. Whenever you get the here, we are uploading all these things to YouTube, means that if you are unable to understand now, during the class, nobody can able to understand 100%. It is true. Even myself also. If I sit in a class, I cannot able to grasp 100% whatever the speaker speaks. But because of that, you are putting in YouTube, so you can go through it. If you have any doubt, okay, you can understand that, okay, once or twice, so you can able to accustom to English conversation. So that you need to do it. But again, some people are teaching in Telugu because the students are not comfortable with English. They are telling like that. Majority of the teachers, okay. You don't force them to teach in Telugu. Okay. So try to understand, because this is the right way for you. This is the right time for you to go through many times if you are unable to understand. Okay. Once, suppose if you are understand only 70%, then whenever you have the free time, you can go through that video again, You need not watch the entire thing. Wherever you find the difficulty, there you can replay once again. So you can try to understand so that you can be comfortable. Okay. So I am appealing once again all of you. Okay. Don't try to use Telugu. Always encourage the teachers to teach in English. Okay. And you also motivate in the direction. Okay. Still many are absent. That is a very unhappy thing for me. Okay. Okay. I expect at least next time onwards. Okay. Almost present. Okay. Thank you one and all.
Sir,
Sir,
Tell me.
please display
Eh.
slide number 4, sir.
Slide number 4. Yes. Implicit addressing mode. Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, sir.
Okay. Here it is very simple one. Implicit addressing mode is very simple. Why? Because it doesn't have any operands. It doesn't have any operands. It has only the instruction part. CLA. Similarly, STA, set accumulator. Okay. Set carry, STC means set carry bit. You have a flag register. Do you know that? Do you know that or not? Flag register. Do you know that? Tell me yes or no. Flag register. I heard about it.
No, sir.
No, you don't know. Okay, I will explain that. In the CPU, that is also one of the special purpose register, which is very important. It is very important, which will control the entire program. Okay. Suppose, for example, I will quote a simple example. If you get a carry in your C program, you are writing that, okay, cases. If this is happened, if this is happened, if A is greater than B, if A is less than B, are you using those things? Yes or no? If A greater than B, do this. If A less than B, do this. If A is equal to B, do this. You are writing the program like this.
Yes, sir.
All those if statements are converted into this logical statement. That means there is a flag register which contains zero flag. Similarly, carry flag. Zero flag means result is 0. If you do any arithmetic or logical operations, if the result is 0, then zero flag is set. Understand? If you do any arithmetic or logical operations on two operands, okay, how do you do A equal to B? By subtracting those two, A minus B. Okay. How do you compare those two? By doing A minus B, if you get 0, that means A is equal to B. Understand? So like that, the zero flag is set. The zero flag is set. There is a flag register which allows so many flags. Okay. The flag register can, again it is a combination of flip-flops. Okay. The flag register contains so many flags. Zero flag, carry flag, overflow flag, like that. Okay. I will discuss it in detail later about all the flags. Okay. At present, I am discussing about zero and carry because we are familiar with that. Zero flag means if you do arithmetic or logical operations on two values or two operands, okay, if you get the result as 0, immediately zero flag is set. Zero flag is set. When zero flag is set, based on that, okay, your program control will be transferred. Jump on no 0, jump on 0. That means you go to that location if zero flag is set. JZ means if zero flag is 1, JZ is a instruction like CLA, STA, STC. Like there is a instruction called JZ. JZ, similarly J and Z. JZ with some address, I will give some address here. Means that if 0 flag is set, you go to this address. Understand? Similarly, J and Z, we are giving some address. Means that if 0 flag is not set, okay, immediately go to this address. That is jumping or branching, or the program control is transferred. Okay. So for program control transfer, we are going to use the flag register content. Content means 0 flag is one content. Similarly, carry flag is one content. Okay. All those things. Okay. Here like this, in this implicit addressing mode, okay, here CLA, clear accumulator, STA, set accumulator, STC, set carry flag, CLC, clear carry flag. Okay. Here we are using the, generally the default one is A means accumulator. Here they are the flags, except we are using implicit addressing mode only to operate with accumulator and flag register, nothing else. We are not going to use any operand. We are not going to use any register operands. We are not going to use any memory operands. Okay. Here, by default, this addressing instructions are used, okay, to operate with accumulator and to operate with flag register content only. And a flag register content means each flag. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here there are no operands at all. The instruction itself shows CLA. It is only instruction, no operands. Maluga operands unde CLA followed by some operand 1 comma operand 2 ఉంటుంది. Yes. Here it is not like that. It is only CLA. That is clear accumulator. The mnemonic. This is called mnemonic. The name antarante, this is called mnemonic. CLA is mnemonic. STA is one another mnemonic. Or another name of mnemonic is assembly instruction. Assembly instruction means assembly language instruction. Okay. CLA, STA, STC, CLC. Like so, there are so many things. Okay. This implicit addressing mode doesn't have any operands. That is why it is called 0 addressing instruction. Okay. It is very fast when compared to all the instructions. The implicit addressing mode instructions are executed at very faster rate. So it requires very less time to execute. Okay. It requires very less time to execute. So I explained in order. Implicit is fast, then immediate, then register, then absolute. Okay. These are the order of time taking for execution. Okay. All the remaining take much more time when compared to these things. So majority of the instructions comes under these 4 categories only. Now is it clear? Whoever asked the doubt, is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Do you want more explanation?
Yes, sir.
Is it understood? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any more doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. 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 Can
No,
I close
sir.
it? Can I close it?
Yes, sir.
If you have any doubts, you can
Yes,
ask.
sir.
Yes, sir.
If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. I will give four more minutes. Now it is 4:51. By 4:55, you can close it. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Eighth, could you
Okay,
please?
sir.
Pardon?
Eighth slide.
8th slide. 8th slide. Here it is only I have given the list. That's all. Why? Because it takes more time. Again, each one require minimum 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Here all these addressing modes are addition to those 4. Here indirect addressing mode. Then index addressing mode. Base index addressing mode. Then base with index and offset. then relative addressing mode, then auto increment, auto decrement. Okay, here this is one different one, okay, which is slightly different with direct addressing mode, slightly different. Okay, we need to, I will compare these two tomorrow. Then all these three comes under one category, only with simple modification, that is slight differences. These three, index addressing mode, base with index addressing mode, base with index and offset addressing mode, okay, these three comes under one category with simple differences, with the slight differences. Then relative addressing mode will have the different concept. Then auto decrement and auto increment will have another concept. Okay, this, whereas this one, it is the next part of this direct addressing mode. We can correlate indirect addressing mode and direct addressing mode tomorrow. Okay, I will tell the differences. Okay, only simple difference will be there. That difference I will tell to you tomorrow. Okay, this indirect addressing mode will also be used, okay, in most of the instructions. That is, it is also comes under that. Okay, first I think there are 4. This also can include that. The 5. This 5 mostly used. So others very oftenly you are using, not regularly. Okay, all these we are using very oftenly, very rarely, not oftenly. Very rarely you are using, sorry, very rarely you are using this one, but frequently we are using the first 5. Any doubts? This I will discuss in detail later, because again it is a separate list, because your time, or if you want to stay with half an hour more, then I will start that, no problem. First I try to understand those 4. If you understand those 4, that is good, that is enough. Okay, are you comfortable with the first 7 slides? Are you comfortable with the first 7 slides? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Can you close it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right. I will close the session.
Okay, sir.